Good afternoon, guys.
Hi.
Louise, Shlomi, I want to, first of all, welcome you to our booth today here at the Real Deal Forum. But you know, real estate these days, to everybody who watches closely, which I believe is everybody, understands the complications of the business that we're in. And when I do my show, Talking New York Real Estate, and when I'm teaching continuing ed, I always start by saying to everybody who wants to listen, the way we transact business in New York City is far different than any place else in the world. 30 minutes up the road in the suburbs, in New Jersey and Connecticut, no one does business the way we do. It's complicated at best. You guys are top stars in our industry, have been top stars, and I've known both of you for a long time, for years and years and years. As I said, very difficult business. You achieved the goal of successful business. So my first question basically is, and I ask this of everybody that I know, why did you decide way back whenever, 100 years ago, to become a real estate agent in New York City when you could have done anything, as I could have done and did before I became a real estate agent?
You want to go first?
Louise, you go first.
Well, anybody who knows me and knows me well knows that I came into real estate in the back door, you know, because I moved to New York from Nashville, Tennessee to be a dancer. You know, I injured myself and I was bartending, and somebody was like, you would be so good in real estate. And she said, call my friend. And I called my brother and I was like, I got a job in real estate. And he's like, you know, that's commission only, which I did not know that.
100% commission.
And my first year in real estate, I made $8,400, and many years later, I've exceeded $6 billion in sales. So all I can say is just keep coming back. But I found my passion, because real estate isn't really brick and mortar and architecture, which is what I thought it was initially. It's a business of people.
As I've said for many years, especially when I'm teaching, it's not about showing apartments, opening and closing doors, kitchen cabinets and all that stuff. It's about people. Shlomi, what was the impetus, the inspiration that brought you into this business, and then of course achieved great success through the years? What was it about real estate? As Louise said before, commission-based, 100% commission, no salary, right?
Yeah, the commission base was the same for me, but I was 17 years old. I had my own apartment. I was living out of my father's house. I was in school. I had 2 jobs, and I had to pay tuition, and I didn't have enough to pay tuition. So somebody got me into real estate. That was in 1986. I was still in, I was in college, and it's been fun ever since.
I love that. I didn't know that. That's good cocktail trivia.
I didn't know that either. But these are the stories that, you know, people out there who have a thing about real estate.
I think you kind of find what you're good at when you start doing something, and what you're good at is really a product of what, you know, your environment says about you, not just financial success.
And you have to have
right?
a passion about it. Okay, this is a business, unlike a lot of others, where you really have to be passionate about this. You all know the ups and downs. The downs are probably more than the ups, right? You got to keep getting up every day and going out there and getting it done well. Louise, you run a very large team at Brown Harris Stevens. In this world today, a lot of new agents come to me and say, you know, I'm just getting out of school, I'm just learning how to be an agent, whatever. Does it make sense for me to join a team? And if so, why?
Well, for myself, I will just say that I kind of created a team by accident. I really could not service all my relationships. And I found for probably almost 3 decades, I never wanted to hire somebody who was in real estate. I wanted somebody to learn my habits, whether they're good or bad, but my work pace, my work, you know, process. And so only of late have I attracted and, you know, hired individuals that have tenure in the business. And that was what was good for me.
Shlomi, you run a company, okay? You were part of big companies, probably parts of teams. Now you run your own company and have been doing so for a long time. You specialize in new development sales, okay? Which in itself is its own animal and its own business. Yes. Tell the listeners a little bit about what it is or what the differences are in your business compared to what Louise does and others do in companies running big teams. You're running a company.
Sure.
And you're servicing developers and working with agents to get these units sold.
Sure. I think starting today as a broker, as an independent contractor doing resales is very difficult. Unless you truly connected by way of family, by way of network, by way of education possibly, where you have business coming to you, it's very difficult to work on your own. And I think working with a team, learning from a very strong team, until you get to learn the ropes, until you can stand on your own 2 feet and start producing, is probably the way to go. And that would be my recommendation to anyone starting in a business today.
For sure.
Start working with someone like Wizzy, learn from Wizzy, learn from her team, understand the infrastructure, understand the perspective of high-level management, and then being in the weeds as well. And pay your dues, and then succeed. And I think that if you have the right tools for it, the right skills for it, the right DNA for it, you can be successful in this business.
I've spent many years selling new developments, as Wheezy has, and the thing is, it is a lot different than resale. It's a whole different ball game, but as dedicated, as well as the resale side. But what strategies do you guys use to kind of motivate your people, motivate your team of people, to motivate yourself every day to get out there and to consistently achieve those levels of success? I keep saying it, beating the drum here, but not everybody gets to the point of success in our business like you guys. What strategies do you use every day to keep yourself motivated and then to pass it on to your people?
Yeah. Look, in my opinion, a successful team can only be as successful as 2 things. One, its leader, right? And then the relationship among the team. I think any successful team that you look at today, you'll find a very successful leader. Very passionate, very experienced, with great integrity and great reputation in the marketplace. And I think that level of energy and commitment and vision kind of trickles down with your team. Now, within the team, people are people, and there are always personal issues and challenges, and you need to know as a leader how to fuse it all together and how to sort of present your vision as the ultimate objective for the company. And I think if you do it well, you'll have a team that works together, where everybody covers each other's back, where everybody understands the objective, a mission, what the resources are, what the tools are, what ways we're going to get there, and this is what you set for yourself in terms of the objective, and that's how you work. And I think that kind of energy is needed within an organization and within a team.
And when you get up in the morning and you're drinking that first cup of coffee before you step out onto the street, you're motivating yourself. Do you plan for what you want to do that day, meaning strategize for the team? And we'll get to Louise's comment in a second, but strategize for the team?
So,
Or is it just, a lot of people say, oh, I'm just going to wing it today. Well,
our strategy and our plan is annual, quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. In my mind, I know what we need to do in the next quarter, in the next 6 months, in the next 9 months, 12 months, by way of staffing, by way of growth, by way of business development, by way of money that needs to come in now, and by way of projections for the future. Now, I go to sleep at night hungry, I wake up hungry. That I haven't lost. And sometimes I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I look at the alarm clock and I wait for the alarm clock to ring. I have 2 little girls at home. I got to put them in bed, in school. I have to feed them, and then I go to work. But I'm very excited about what I do.
Yes.
I have a strong vision. I have an amazing team working for me, and for me, it's fun. It's fun. But that hunger aspect of it is still there for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%. So for myself, what fulfills me is to be of service, and I feel that it is truly such a privilege to have a part of this process, whether I'm giving birth to a building and I'm collaborating with a lot of architects and the developer. Watching that community come together is much more fulfilling than the 200 million in sales that might be there, and that is just sort of what wires me. What I am super organized, and like Shlomi, I come from this idea of breaking down my year, my quarter, my week, my month, my week, my day, and I have lists that is never done, but I am a methodically organized, and I also feel that part of my team process is that I've always worked through a personality index, because I do think that each seat needs the right personality, and then that synergy sort of naturally comes together. I also think that, you know, the individual that comes into a team, you cannot have individuals that you have to tell them what to do. You have to lead them by example. And that, I think, is a part of a formula that is necessary today.
And I believe that people who do work on teams, whether they're new to a team or not, are looking to you and to other team leaders for leadership, for that mentorship, for that experience. Okay? Especially when you're talking about younger agents brand new to the business, you know.
Correct.
Should I join a team? Should I not join a team? Oh my God, what am I going to do? How am I going to make any money? You know, but they also, after those thoughts, really want to work with somebody. I get people coming up to me all the time because they know I'm in the business a long time, I have a lot of experience, and just want to be, you know, that person who they can ask a question of. What about this? Or what about that?
I mean,
know,
I think the generosity of knowledge is our responsibility as seasoned people. And, you know, I make time to have coffee with people, even when I'm not prepared to hire anybody.
Correct.
Because that will go around. And I've probably brought at least 70 or 80 people into the business of real estate. Yeah. And I feel that that's part of our obligation, is making time and being generous with our knowledge and experience.
In this fast world of real estate, this technological world of real estate, from 22 years ago when I first began to where we are today, social media, shall I say anymore, how do you guys keep up with the technology zooming and booming around you, the absolute need to be very present in social media? You already have a brand, but what I tell people all the time is, you can have a brand, and your names can be very synonymous with real estate and success in New York. However, you have to maintain that constantly, as you say, every day. So what tools do you use from a technology perspective, and are you active on social media? I know you are. You know, what do you do with all this, Shlomi?
Look, AI is going to present many opportunities by way of getting a brand out there, reaching exposure, and connecting dots in a very quick way by way of clients, buyers, sellers, developers, etc. It's coming. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm aware of many different programs that have been worked on. Right now, what we have is social media. You have LinkedIn, you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have eBlast, right?
Even TikTok.
Even TikTok. Which we don't do. We don't do TikTok, but we do use the other platforms.
That's fine.
Your brand is extremely important. What you do better than anyone else, what edge you may have, you need to put out there on a regular basis. The problem is that it can take over your life in a way that you can't focus and concentrate on other things, which is the real business.
Right.
So you need to find a way where something like that is handled for you if you can. At this level, I don't know if Wizzy does it herself or she has a company that manages that for her. But I don't know how brokers actually do business in and out and still manage their social media platforms in a productive way. So there's got to be a management aspect there.
A balance.
That is a lot of work, but you have it knocked though.
Yes, but I will tell you honestly, I spend 1 hour a month. 1 hour a month, and honestly, all I care about is just being exactly who I am.
Well, that's the whole key.
And then. Who wants any more than an hour a month of me? So I'm just saying.
Well, hey, listen, but you do it well, and you're very visible out there, and you see it. All right, we got time for one more question. Unfortunately, we're running out of time. Shlomi, what sets you and your company apart from everyone else? And Louise, the same question. The Louise Phillips Forbes team. What sets you and your team apart, other than great leadership, than anybody else in the industry? Where, you know, how many agents are we in this business? 25,000, 20,000, whatever the number is, right? What sets you apart?
I own a boutique firm, and we are known for hands-on service. Our experience goes without saying. Our integrity at this point is very well known. But when I take on a project, I have a personal, not just business, but a personal obligation to my client, to my developer, who entrusted that project with me. It's hands-on service. And I believe that that edge is what this market needs, especially in challenging times. Big companies, big platforms, I tip my hat to them. It's a tough business to survive in, but hands-on service, right, is what sets us apart. The attention, the focus on each project, on each developer, on each approval, on each deal, on each negotiation, I have hands-on on it.
I love
People
that. I would
business.
agree with that.
Louise.
For myself, I mean, I think that the tenured and the time in the industry, and I have a very data-driven mindset, and I also believe very much in abundance. Like, there's enough for us all, and that, you know, when I lose business, I pray and hope I lose it to somebody I respect and admire, because that's how it should be. Sometimes social media can boost somebody into what experience is not there. So setting myself apart is just being exactly who I am authentically, always speaking the truth, and going the extra mile. And that is that service, hands-on details that Shlomi's talking about. And it's just one deal at a time.
Authenticity, transparency, people business. Congratulations to you and to you, because really you guys have done an amazing, I'm in the business 22 years and I've watched both of you, you know, climb that ladder. But stay there.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for
coming.
coming.
Appreciate your time.
I appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Appreciate the company.
Amen.